The main challenges I'd say is in production, in maintaining that fine balance between reality and cinema. In really, we cast these unbelievably talented young actors who, in combination with each other, there's a real special relationship on screen that we were able to capture. For me as the filmmaker, I had a real responsibility to frame this story scene by scene in a way that would feel both compelling and thought-provoking. So there was a lot of planning on my part. I storyboarded with a group of illustrators every scene in the movie. I did a lot of pre-viz animation work on a lot of the bigger set pieces that are found later in the film. So the challenge was in technically translating the material in a way that made it feel as exciting and as fresh as it read on page. It was definitely a challenge, but it was one that I felt very prepared to carry out. I've always wanted to see visual effects in a more grounded and realistic style than the typical kind of big budget, $100 million kind of approach. Which I feel like we've seen so many times before that it's very hard to justify the word special in special effects. So ironically, the most compelling stuff in this movie was shot using very traditional, old-fashioned methods like rotoscoping and wires and very kind of basic compositing, as opposed to going for the kind of full-on CG look. I would say that it's about a 65-35. 65% of the visual effects in this movie are practical, and what you see is actually there. And then the rest of it is a very carefully used CG. So we don't have any scenes, we don't have a single shot in the movie that doesn't have some kind of a practical element to it, which we would base the shot on. So there are no fully CG shots in the movie. Movies, video games, comic books, art, real life. This was a special experience on this film because I was able to utilize all of my influences at once, because this is a movie about everything in a lot of ways. It's a drama, it's a science fiction film, it's a fantasy film, it's a psychological character study. So the artistic influences, as well as the psychological influences and my own real life experiences, scene by scene, I felt like I was able to have an outlet for a lot of stuff that I always wanted to do.